What up, chat? How we doing? Ready for the fucking job fest tonight? What a wonderful comment. What up, Ron, Boar, Scott, Ash, Toasted, Rav, Pete? How y'all doing? What up, Diana? NQ buys today? I'll get into it in a bit, brother. I usually wait a few minutes, let people jump in, and then I dive into it. How's your day been? Good. It's always good. I actually didn't take a single trade today because I did end up trading the trade thesis from last night and capping out 3 evals and 2 fundeds on it. So I didn't do shit today. I didn't even open a broker. Took that bounce off 29.095 last night, held 2 micros until it got auto closed at 455. Nice 257 points. Vantis, sounds like we did the same shit. I'll show what I took because I marked it up. I didn't catch 257 points, but I waited until we got the little bit of a 5-minute structure. And then I ended up getting in here once we set a 5-minute higher low, getting back above the 130s. I caught just under like 100. That kind of capped me out there. So that ended up getting me out of the trade. And then obviously, I don't think the 88 target ever hit, but upwards of just below the open did test. So we got a lot of nice momentum. This is what I caught. It was like 2.6R. So it was a really nice trade post stream. Right around that 10 o'clock mark that we talked about. Elliot, did you mention in 113s? Damn, Vantis, you got a you bought the entry. I waited for the extra conviction, but you bought the entry. So nice trade. What up, AXP? Let's get this Asia thing going. Let's see what we get. I'm kind of torn out the gate, but I'm interested for sure. Need 500 to pass an eval. I opened today. Damn, Diana. Blood of 50K down to 48,200. Clawed back up to 49,800 since last night. Gnarly. Damn, Boar, you went through the trenches. Just passed my evals. Can't wait to rip them tomorrow. And Jackson Hole. AXP, that's probably one of the better ways if you're going to degen a little bit. Yeah, Vantis, I was watching it. That's what gave me that conviction, was us holding that 210s. But as I mentioned, I was just looking for the little bit of extra conviction over that 130s. I wanted to see the structure form a little bit. I saw the thesis of taking an early stab once we got down there, but I was just patiently waiting for us to start to show a little bit of strength before I got in. But no, you got a hell of an entry down there. Hell of an entry. Let's see which way chat leans today. Can't forget the third option. All right, let's see what I missed. Got my 3 fundeds after yesterday, all fresh and ready to go. Hell yeah. Read that, read that. Rain's trying to hit on Miss K. Took that same trade, was super nice and much needed. Love it. Yesterday, I understood revenge trading is the worst. I was up 500. I lost, tried, recovered, ending up with just 41. Damn. At least you didn't end up like in a deep deficit, but it does suck to have happen. Chop, chop, chop. No, Scott, we don't want that. I'll take continuation either direction. We want a little bit of trending price action. Don't you dare bring that juju in here. I just realized 5 accounts, 15K profit. I made 75K in 4 days, all of which I can't even withdraw. AXP, welcome to the wonderful world of prop firms. You will make tens of thousands of dollars before you can take a withdrawal. And it just is what it is. But now, I wouldn't say everything you make you can withdraw, but a good majority of it you can withdraw. Anyone shorting NQ? I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not at the moment. Looks like NQ wants 687s without pullbacks. This consolidation where we are makes sense, and I'll get into that in a minute. I like the consolidation we're currently getting. What does scare me, though, is you guys are voting on the poll 61%. The hit rate on the poll has not been hitting too much lately. For the broader day yesterday, yes, but during the session, no. So if the poll's saying 60% bullish, you might want to just short right away. Because we're guaranteed a pullback at that point. Only 10% can think we're going to range. Interesting. Interesting. Let me open my other charts. But chat, how'd you guys do today? Obviously, there was a lot of opportunity today, but we sat within a broader range for the most part of the day. How'd you guys do? What up, Mosfab? I'm about to pull in uncut gems on these funded accounts. AXP, there's nothing better or nothing worse than trading the evals, finally getting them passed, and then just yeeting them day one. Got effed on Google calls? Damn. What'd Google do? Yeah, checks out. Doesn't look like it treated you well. Yeah. We have a few things trying to hold us up right now, but Apple's been relatively weak, which has me a little interested with Apple's gap down in us actually getting some weakness. Because we do have semiconductors and NVIDIA holding us up, but they've been the only thing holding us up for a minute for the most part. W today? Hell yeah. Made 300 on eval, then caught meta lows at 50 cents. Sold at 430. Damn, Boar. You bag held that thing. Nice trade. Nice trade. Let's see this. Okay. Let me go view stats so I can see that. I'll go there and pull the stats back up. There we go. One contract, but it was glorious. I mean, you caught damn near 1,000%. One contract don't mean shit at that point. Still made a hell of a return. I feel like today's going to be more of a hit and run session. There's a chance we continue trending, but I just feel like it's going to be more of a hit and run. What up, Lambo? Helps to look at it like that opposed to the dollar amount. Always, Boar. Always. NQ short from here? Not necessarily. You can short. I'm probably not going to right out the gate. I would need a little more conviction on a short. Because if, similar to yesterday, if you look at the hourly chart, that's not really a candle and a move that I'm over eager to short. If we end up starting to set more of like a 5-minute downtrend, maybe I look for a little hit and run. Any shorts from me are going to be hit and run style. I'm not saying shorts can't work today. I think there's a higher probability of it going either direction today than there was yesterday. I'm definitely not as convinced in a general direction as I was yesterday, for sure. Like if I voted on the poll, I would be more neutral than anything. If it closes below 29551 short. I like that. I like that because you're getting below this 5-minute support here. If you're more bearish on the market, if you want to try to short the highs of the range and a bigger resistance, which we're currently sitting at, I'm not opposed to that at all. While the daily did make obviously a bit of a gap higher today, it's not like we've gone anywhere crazy. We made a decent move from last night's lows, but that's because we sold off like 200 points down into it. From today's highs, I mean, we're up a little bit, but it's just because of big tech, right? We're up roughly 170 points. So we are a little extreme already. Now we just got to see how we're going to react to it. But I'm not over eager to short. I'm not opposed to taking like a hit and run if that's what's going to be provided. See you later, AXP. Not going to trade these until New York. Go grab a nice beer. Love it. I'm digging an OP bounce, which would also backtest the 16 to 20 levels on ES. Yeah, I can see that. ES is definitely a little bit weaker than NQ. What are the other indices doing? RTY is already below its open. YM's a little bit weaker alongside ES. Shorts can work for sure. I would lean more towards range, slight pullback versus just immediately ripping higher off of the charts. Oh, chat's slowly leaning more towards the bearish range action. We're down to 51% bullish. More people that come in, the more bears come out. Yeah, and then I'll dive into the actual charts here and go over exactly why I'm okay if we do pull back. So looking at these daily charts, obviously we did get a nice gap up over the range today because of NVIDIA earnings. YM, RTY didn't go anywhere whatsoever. They're still relatively weak. All YM did was test above today's highs, starting to fail already. RTY is still an inside bar, so nothing to really say there. If you look at ES and NQ, and I know it's going to be hard to see, so I'll go full daily charts. If you look at these, all we did here on ES is come up and retest this daily low, right? And I do have a big support or resistance right here that I'll show you in a minute when I get to the 4 hour. Same thing with NQ. NQ got a big gap up into this daily consolidation, this broader range that we're trading in. There's a lot of resistance in here. If we get a strong rally back over like 870s, then yeah, I'm going to look at NQ to possibly go for the recent highs. At that point, I'd be looking at ES over probably 780s, looking for all-time highs again. I'm not fully convinced of that yet, just because what we've currently done is ES has rallied up into this 4-hour high. I don't think it's going to immediately break this. We already tested it once. Now we're obviously pulling back a little bit, consolidating below it. If we consolidate heavily below it for like a few hours, I think we can look to break it. If we just get a bigger rejection and bulls aren't even able to keep us up near it, then there's a chance we do start to fade back towards this little retest of like 710s on ES. Similar thesis on NQ would be us coming up, obviously not the highs, up around like 675s, but we're up around the mid area of this consolidation, which is right at the 600s. We came up, tested that thus far, and have started to reject. If we reject off of this, my next support is down back around like 500s, which is damn near the open. So we're just in this wide area where there's a lot of room to play within, but we need conviction outside of one or the other to really be like, hell yeah, this is the direction I think we're going in the market. But a consolidation within this makes sense. Same thing on ES. A consolidation within where we've prior consolidated makes a hell of a lot of sense. Reason I'm not overly bearish off of this rejection is just simply how strong the hourly closed on NQ. Right? We have a very strong hourly close. We're sitting up near the highs of that candle. If we consolidate here for a few hours, we could look for that break. Only problem is that likely wouldn't come until late Asia, sometime late overnight as well. I don't think a continuation to the upside is that likely during this session, unless we get some big Asia move that breaks it off the Asia Open. I just truly don't believe that we're going to rip through this on the first initial test. If we do, I'll be wrong. But I do lean more so neutral, slight down over anything, just by looking at this. Current structure at the moment, 15 is already pulling back. We're fading a decent amount of the move on ES, probably about a third of the way already. We do have some support around 730s, which we've been watching in the past. If we get below that, we have 720, 710s. NQ, there's a little bit at 550s, but anything below that, I'd be looking straight for the open. So roughly 90 points from here, which I don't think is that crazy whatsoever. So I'm going to be paying a lot of attention probably to like the 2 minute, looking for more so hit and runs. I have the 15 on my other monitor that I'll keep an eye on as well. But I lean a little more towards the downside than I do upside. Unless we do come down, hold like 70 to 50 and then get a bounce there. But out the gate early in the session, I lean a little more downside again, just not as aggressive as yesterday. There's a chance we do get aggressive, though, if we start losing some supports. NQ could easily fill the gap that a lot of people are probably targeting. Currently trying to get Claude to automate my trades by taking the opposite of what certain YouTube streamer polls vote on. Rain, lately you wouldn't be hitting too terrible. I like a pullback to 400, 450s if we want to put up a good higher low. Yash, here is my problem with that, though. Because if we pull back, let's say to 450s during this 4-hour candle, what's it going to look like? You know, this is going to close down here, maybe down here. That is an ugly ass candle. If that happens before 10 p.m., I would not be interested in buying that dip. I'd be looking to short lower highs if that continued. But I'm not fully convinced either way. I'm willing to trade whatever the market's going to give us. So I'm going to be a little patient, just waiting for higher probability that I do like. Long gold. Gold's already moving, brother. If I wanted the long gold, it would have had to have been somewhere down here right when I first jumped on stream. Right here, I'm not interested in buying. If it gets strong continuation, 100%. Easily. Like if you start building out a consolidation, yeah, you can look at it. Look for like 680s, possibly 695s. I don't hate that. I do not mean before 10 p.m. I meant before more on the 4-hour structure. Oh, I don't hate that. I'm not opposed to that. What up, Miss K? Bought 50K funded Friday. I'm going like super slow. Still at 500 profit. Only I don't think. Chaos, why don't you think you're going to pass it? $30K retest coming this weekend on Q. Tomorrow will be another push day. My thinking. It's going to just heavily depend on the overnight. If I want tomorrow to be another push day, I would want us to go absolutely nowhere throughout the overnight. I would want to build a huge consolidation around this area. And then maybe pre-market into New York Open, you try to get that rally up into basically like 29.9s. That is something I would love to see happen. So what do you mean by 4 time frame attack? What up, 7? But chat, what are you guys looking for today? What do you guys want to trade? Long, short, what name, where at? I'm getting obsessed, looking at charts all the time, taking unnecessary trades. Today I had to pull up a lockout on my account so I don't trade. Chaos, continue to do that, but work on the aspect of not trading. Even if you have to lock yourself out for a certain amount of time, because what that's going to do is build patience. It's going to let you learn how to sit there and be okay with the market moving without you being in a position. Because that's going to happen a lot in your career. If you're able to become okay with that, then I think you build very good patience for the future. It's something I've done a lot. So you mean on this chart? 5, 15, hourly, and 4 hour. Those are the main time frames I pay attention to. If we do get strong buying pressure on NQ and we get back above 630s, I may be horribly wrong and we may just rip. I went a bit of a tilt, lost one of my Apex fundeds, just one left with Apex and 5 trade if I funded, locked everything up once I realized I was actually tilting. Charlie, that's huge to be able to acknowledge that in the time of when it's happening. Like, that is a massive step. It's what a lot of people realize it afterwards that they're tilting, or they'll realize it during and continue to tilt. The fact that you were able to realize it, only lose one of the accounts, and then forcefully lock yourself out is great. Sucks that it happened, but it's going to happen in trading. There's going to be times where you trade poorly, you tilt, whatever it may be. So it's great that you acknowledged it. Just aggressively pass my eval. Diana, did you just make $500 on a 17-point move? Did you just rip a few minis right there? I did. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it one bit. I'm long MGC. Where'd you get in at? But hell yeah. Gold was moving really nice when we looked. Trading MQ, whichever direction the market moves, 170 away from passing eval, so hopefully today's the day. Yeah, Pete, just keep it slow. Especially if you're like technically one trade away from passing. That is when it's really worth it to be patient. I know you're going to want to pass. You're going to want to pass on any move the market gives you. Just wait till the conviction lines up for whatever your trade parameters are and then take it. Because the worst thing that happens is when you're that close, and let's say you lose 150 bucks, now you're 320 away, then you end up trying to trade again, trying to get that back, then you're 600 away, and now it's just hell. 62.50. Beautiful entry. Did you buy this pullback or did you buy this pullback? Pullback number 1 or pullback number 2? Either way, nice trade. Lovely. What's oil look like? Oil's still weak. I'm keeping an eye on my other monitor. Obviously, I'm not going to throw 4 charts up for you guys because I know you guys don't want to see that. But I'm keeping an eye on this monitor over here on the 15 minutes of these to watch how RTY and YM react to the open. Those get above the open, I'll be more interested in longing. If they continue to hold below, shorts may be the move. At least for the early session. Number 2, nice. Love that. So you didn't even really have to sit through a pullback. Because the first one happened, you waited for the second one, then you got in. Nice entry. Dollar's not open. RTY struggling. NQ is definitely the strongest name, obviously, because big tech's doing well. Or did I say RTY? I meant NQ. Too afraid to try ESNQ, so went metals. Not a bad idea. Ron drinking beer. Nah, that's coffee. It would probably be more sane if it was beer, but it's coffee. Any trades yet? No, brother. No trades yet. Just watching. Currently just seeing what the market wants to do. How many of you guys are long gold? So far, that's at least 2 that mentioned it. I know there's a lot of lurkers in chat that are probably long gold as well, because y'all absolutely love gold. Richie, where do you see a 5K account? What prop firm has one of those? Chat, I'm going to try a small NQ short with 6 micros. It's against the broader trend, but I'm okay with it. It actually gave me a decent fill there too. If it stops me out right away, oh well. But I'm willing to take a stab on it. If it does hold here, because I'm also watching, part of the conviction within it is RTY and YM continuing to push lower. If they do get buying pressure, I'll be stopped out aggressively fast. I will. And I'm okay with that. It's the risk I'm willing to take on this one. It's definitely not like the highest probability trade. But if we are going to push lower, I think it's a solid entry. NQ trader, don't doubt your position whatsoever. Never. Even if I'm in something, this could easily stop out. Oh, Hydra funded. Richie, I can't tell you if that's worth it or not because I've never heard of that prop firm before in my life. So I can't logically say, yeah, it's worth it. I don't know their rules. I don't know the company. I don't know how long they've been around, and I don't know the stability of them. I'm not a big fan of instant fundeds in general because normally they cost a couple $100. If that instant funded is $20, it raises some questions because the pricing doesn't make much sense. But like I said, I don't know anything about the company. What up, Com? All right, so my stop is 31. So I got an OCO 31. One second, chat. Why was that already set? Hang on, it didn't set the OCO properly. I'm just making it so either way, if I get filled, I don't get filled extra. All right, so that's set. Okay, now we're good. It raised some questions for me too. Yeah, when accounts are that cheap on a firm I haven't heard of, it raises questions. It also depends how new the firm is. If it's a newer firm, they're likely going to run crazy deals eventually. That pricing will change. They're just trying to get market share. I just don't know enough to be able to actually actively say it. I think it's going for 690. It could chaos. It easily could. If you guys are bullish, like I always say, trade your trade. This could very well stop me out. Why are you shorting? Taking the possibility of a pullback off of a larger resistance that I don't think we're going to break yet. And if we do break it, I'll be wrong. This month has been horrible for you in general, or are you just saying price action? So, Brian, what the hell did you just type? Just waiting for confirmation. Easiest thing to do. Easiest thing to do out there. The longer we sit up here, though, without any pullbacks, the higher the probability of me getting stopped is for sure. For sure. I do still like that RTY and YM are relatively weaker right now. NQ is obviously the stronger name. And if it does get buying pressure, I will easily get wicked. Especially because my stop is just over the highs. So honestly, probably should have gone more towards ES on this one, just because it's weaker. But I've been trading NQ lately, so I felt like trading it. What up, Mabel? What up, Joe? Make sure your stop's above 36. At this point, I can't. I would have to size down because my stop is currently what I want to risk on this trade. I'm not going to move my stop up to like 40 because then that would increase my bottom end about $120-ish, and I'm not willing to do that. So I'd either have to size down and then move it or just leave it where it's at. I'm okay leaving it where it's at for this tab. If we wick hive day, I'll be stopped. Because no matter what, if we wick there, the chance of us wicking 40 is going to grow anyway. So I'd rather just leave it where it's at. Algo target. Are you talking like Gex levels? Or what algo are you referring to? Like what aspect do you use to find that? Should I risk it with a small stop? KS, I will not answer that question for you. I won't. I appreciate you being here, but I will not tell you if you should or should not risk a position. I will say if you're questioning if you should risk it, the answer is probably no. Options, bets. Okay. Makes sense. Appreciate you, Yash. Means a lot, brother. Because, I mean, yeah, even if I'm wrong on this trade, this is what it is. It's all a part of it. But you guys are actively seeing why I'm not moving my stop or doing anything along that, even if we do get a rally. The aspect that I'm playing off of is us not just going and breaking this high. Us continuing to reject this resistance that I have around 610s. Pushing back lower, if we do end up spiking the high, oh well. Would it make more sense to wait for a high to be spiked and then look to short? Probably. The unfortunate thing, though, is if I get stopped and it's not sooner, it'll probably be Asia open with the volatility. Because that would be a solid time frame for us to spike that high. We'll see what happens. Trying to set it like a little 5-minute lower high, I'd be okay with that. I'm okay with the other indices being weak, but it's just going to be if RTY and YM do break the open, we'll go higher. We should, at least. Gold still trending? Kind of. Oil stagnant. Still a little weaker. What's this? Yeah, I'll probably eat a stop. 15 and 5 are holding up well now. 5 just triggered. If this continues to trigger, I'll eat it. Ultimate TP. Did you type that wrong? Or are you talking about downside TP? Because I know you lean more bullish for the short term. Oh, for my idea, I would be, we would get aggressive selling pressure if that happened. But at that point, though, if we ended up getting below the open, I wouldn't be targeting 465s. I'd be targeting today's highs, down around 440s. So if I was looking for like a Hail Mary on runners, I would be targeting down here around 440s. I'm long. Nothing wrong with that. Entered long. Let's see. Nothing wrong with that either. Good thing is, one of us is going to be right. But no, I don't like how we're currently trading, how we're slowly grinding higher. I like every other index struggling to get buying pressure other than NQ. Right? Don't like what NQ is doing. Probably, Rob. Looking at it now, I mean, it fully makes sense. I'm okay admitting I'm wrong if we do sweep the highs. That's where my stop will be. I took a bet on us getting more of a pullback before we do that. And if we do, it would honestly make the chart a lot cleaner if we swept a high and then rejected. Nothing wrong with that, Yusuf. Damn, the whole chat's fading me. I don't blame you. Can go lower to go higher. Oh, I'm not ruling out anything. I think the market at the moment can go any direction without any hesitation. I don't think there's enough conviction for me to be like, yeah, we're going to make a 100-point move, guaranteed to the upside or guaranteed to the downside. I don't think the chart currently shows that based off the most of the time frames at the moment. I think we could make one of those, but I don't think there's a guarantee. Similar to like yesterday where I was bearish, not interested in longing whatsoever. There's a chance we just stay fully stagnant until Asia open. 15 did get a little bit of an upper wick. It's not enough to really give me much more conviction because we can easily reverse that with some buying pressure. ES, however, is trying to be weak. It's just going to be how we react off this 5-minute for the most part. 5-minute flag needs to fail soon for shorts. Agreed, Josh. Agreed. The longer we stay up here, the higher the probability of me taking a stop, for sure. Josh, did you short as well? I just don't like how well we're holding. We would need to lose 600s very soon for this to get any conviction. Like any increased conviction. What up, Ali? Yeah, I don't hate that, Yash. You probably have a little, I would assume you probably have a little bit closer of a target. I'm short and scared. Then you should not be in a trade, my man. Unless you are just joking. If you are ever worried about a position, shouldn't be in it. Are we going to clear uptrend, though, with the gap up and NVIDIA earnings? I'm biased for longs. I don't disagree. Longs could easily work. I think we're at a point where we could easily go either direction. For me, like I said, the longer we stay up here, the higher the probability of me getting stopped is. Why? Because we get closer to this hourly close, which ends up being a full inside bar near the highs. I would have wanted to see a more aggressive push. We're not getting that. So the probability of this getting continuation lowers. The longer we stay up here, the higher the likelihood of me eating a stop. I'm okay taking the risk because what I'm essentially shorting off of is this resistance that I don't anticipate us breaking immediately. If we do, we do. I'm willing to take the risk on that with the position I'm currently in. I'm not willing to go like crazy risk. I'm not going to say this is the highest conviction possible because it's not. Do you use risk settings on your personal account? Yes. Yeah, 100%. Always. I use risk settings more on my personal account. On my personal accounts, when I'm trading, I set a daily loss limit. So that way I have a max that I can lose. Did you send it on any options for NVIDIA? No. I don't trade earnings. I won't. I used to in the past. I've gotten smoked so many. I've had great earnings trades, but I've gotten smoked more times than not on earnings. It just ain't worth it for me. Even if I look at a chart and it's like an absolute hell yeah type of entry, then no. Limit on number of trades? Not necessarily. It just, for me, it's the P&L that I would limit it off of. If I'm doing well on the day, let's say I do well during Asia session like yesterday, then I just don't trade New York. Like today, I didn't trade New York whatsoever. I did well last night, caught a decent chunk of that rally that I wanted to catch. Didn't touch a single account today. Didn't even open a broker. Only reason I looked at charts was to do my morning watch list and then watch Jake trade. That was it. But I lock myself out of any account after a certain amount of P&L. So like this trade, if it loses, I'll lose 350. I would be more, I'd probably be likely to willing to lose 250 on this account if I got stopped out of this. So 250 more. And then that account would be fully shut off no matter what. I wouldn't touch it. Nice split. Hey, back my losses from yesterday. Time to sleep with a clear mind. Love it, brother. Yeah, it should take a stop here because the time frames are getting a lot stronger. Unless we get some aggressive 15-minute rejection, which I highly doubt at this point without us sweeping the highs because we're so close, I should eat a stop. RTY is trying to break the open right now. So that's something that's important. You saw both. I trade prop firms with futures, so like this is a prop account, and then options I trade self-funded. That's how I split it up. Ollie, is the bot not working? Have you tried Vanquish for options? No, Yash. I don't agree with an options broker account. You're in longs? Hell yeah. Hope it hits. At least if I get stopped, hope you guys hit on longs. Bot isn't working. Interesting. Bot's on vacation today. Don't know why. I'll have to figure it out before Alan's stream. Because it should at least reply. Unless they did an update to it. But no, Yash, I don't agree with prop firms for options. Because the reason I trade options is the uncapped potential on it. So getting a consistency rule on something like an options account just would not make sense to me. If you're trading spreads, maybe, but most of them, I believe, don't even allow you to trade spreads. Is the bot not connected? Let's see. No. I think it's alert bot, right? No. Huh. See if that sends. Should get stopped here. Just going right on any problem. Appreciate you, Jordan. Yeah. Bot's not working. Don't know why. I'll have to figure it out after stream. Might have done another update. I would be shocked if we didn't sweep this high. I mean, we got within what? 3 points? 2 points? It would really shock me if we didn't take that high out. We got a strong 15. All right. Well, maybe looks like I'm sitting in the Trade Through Asia Open. Damn, I'm down $100. How will I ever recover? Ahmad, I'm not down shit yet, technically, because I haven't been filled. Young, did you actually TP there and jump in shorts real quick? If so, knowing the way you trade, you should have already hit target, I would assume. Or at least been close. Hell yeah, brother. Took about 600. Damn, son. Nice little scalp. At this point, like in my mind, I just feel like it's delaying the inevitable of now the Asia Open volatility taking me out. So I've already like mentally cashed out of this, like my stop hit. But until it does, trade still rides. You didn't get filled on your entry for sell? Did you see soy? No, CXT, I didn't. What happened with soy? FOMO revenge trading engaged because you didn't get your short fill? This would need an aggressive reversal for this trade to somehow hold me in. This high to the, or this close to the highs, I would be crazily shocked if we didn't sweep it. Why are you shorting? Brother, you already asked that question. You asked that question earlier. Oh, Young trades drastically different though. Young takes big, like quick scalps for like 10, 20 points. So he's just looking for little pullbacks. If he would have got filled, he probably would have already been out on this candle alone. RTY and YM look horrible. The only thing is in my head, I feel like NQ needs to sweep that high. And with Asia session coming, it makes sense for it to pop it and then try to do something if it's going to pull back. All right, we do have Asia Open coming in 6 minutes. Young, you think we're hitting 570s before we break that high? The only reason that would surprise me is we all know the early Asia Open is going to give volatility. A little 30-point pop on NQ wouldn't be shocking in either direction. Trust me, I'd love to see it. We would just need the next 5 minutes to be straight bearish for the 15. I don't think it's going to happen. Good, though. The structure looks way stronger thus far. See if we can stop before Asia. Yeah, Rob, with us being this close, that's my thesis, which is why I think no matter what, Asia Open will take me out. Well, I got taken out anyway, but that's why I thought Asia Open would take me out no matter what, because we're likely going to get a bit of volatility before we get any type of push lower. Damn, I lost $50 extra. Oh, well. Oh, well. Let's see what Asia Open brings. Wonder if we get 680 now. ES is yet to break the highs. RTY just now broke above the open. YM's now trying to set that higher low. $675, $680s is in play if buying pressure continues off Asia. If we do get more aggressive buying pressure, we could easily break that. NQ Trader. That don't bother me one bit. It don't bother me if chat takes different trades than me. It doesn't bother me if I lose a trade. I'll live another day. I ain't worried about it. On this account, that stop is a third of what I made today on it, so I'm not overly worried about it. And I still have other accounts that I capped out yesterday that I can trade. Right now I'm mainly just determining if I want to trade this account again or if I want to flip accounts. And I might be leaning more towards flipping, but I'm not opposed to trading it. I would just probably take smaller size. So that's why I don't know if it's worth it. What up, Silos? Rob, I do as well. I use the limits and bracket orders too. Are you talking about the initial test of it, or are you talking about the like 675 area? Old level 704 and one at 750. Realistic to hit those, you think? I mean, I'm not saying we can't hit those. Right, I've already been wrong today, is what it is. But we need to get over this to hit those. If Asia comes out swinging, and we get strong buying pressure in the next 3 seconds here, and we get confirmation above 680s, we 100% can start to move towards over sevens. But we would need strong pressure out the gate on this. No, Rob, that makes sense. I'm not opposed to doing that for sure. I do it often too. Just didn't do it today. Was willing to take a little bit of an earlier entry today. But that's exactly why I left my stop where it was. If we broke the highs, I was anticipating we get a decent push higher. Because we had so much room between like 610s and upwards of 670s. So to me, that's why I wasn't willing to move any stops whatsoever. Gold still holding. RTY, YM. YM's a little bit weaker now. This might be the rejection I initially wanted. Not diving in here, though. I'm letting it trade out for a bit. I just truly don't think we get an overly aggressive upside move right away. And if we do, we do. Yeah, Rob, I took my one stab. I'm going to be patient for anything else on it, but I am obviously willing to trade. I have no issues with it. And if I want to look for something else, I'll just jump into my other accounts if needed. The main fight right now is just between NQ and the other indices. NQ is obviously holding up strength with NVIDIA and other semiconductors. YM's getting smoked. RTY is on the verge of getting smoked. Chad, did any of you guys get filled out on longs there? Or at least you guys hit targets? Because I know a few of you guys were long. Still holding long. Where are you targeting? What's your target? I'm not in anymore, brother. I got stopped. Gold plays. Once gold started to make this move, I wasn't overly interested. Do I think it can get a continuation up towards like 85, 86? Yeah. But I think this would have to have been my entry if I wanted to trade this. Just because now looking at the 15, this isn't where I would be interested in entering. So I'd have to be really patient just waiting for something to set up there on it. Starting 675. I don't hate that if we get continuation. I don't. Hit my TP before the Asia Open. Glad it did because I thought it would rip up on Asia Open. I was wrong. Yeah. Welcome to Asia Open. Where is your target? Like 640s? Somewhere around there? If we hit it, 640, 650? You got in at 29,586 for a long? Is that what you're referring to? 650, nice. Scaled out 8 so far, beautiful. So I'm assuming you're either break even or trailing on runners. Nice trade. So if you're still holding the long, where's your target? Notes, where's your entry? What I like to do if I trim is try to get my stop to break even for the most part. So that's just going to be up to you. You mean 586? 584? Oh, your target's 86. Your entry was 84. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's just going to be up to you. We can still hold NQs trying to hold strength. If it holds this 610s area, it could be a nice retest. What I usually do and what I would say, find a spot on the chart that you don't want to see NQ below. Just throw your stop there. Easiest way to do it. Whether that's break even, whether that's in profit, or your initial stop. You got a long at 568. Beautiful entry. Or 562. Kind of bored now. Going to let it play out until tomorrow. See you later, Rob. 29,800 is your target. Hell of a target. If we hold 600, it's completely valid. Completely. I'm waiting for the 15-minute close just to see what we do there. There's a chance NQ does hold 610s to push back higher. If we lose 610s, it's not a great look since we did spike higher at Asia. So I just want to see how that closes and how we look going forward. See, if we can't get back over the highs, it's primarily range. So ES is holding this prior 34 low. Hey, I just passed my first view discount. I want to say thank you for you and Jake's trading insight, which helped me critique my game. Hell yeah, brother. That's the first count you've passed completely. Congratulations, my man. If you pass it, though, you just got to remember, if you do the same thing, you get a payout. So just keep it level-headed, keep doing the same shit you've been doing, and you'll be there. Cody, that shows a lot, though, that you've been holding it for that long. The fact that you've had it for that long without blowing it says more than you probably realize. Because most people will never hold an eval that long while actively trading it. Notes. No, I do not. I don't trade the same size on every trade. And today will be an example if I find another trade on this account that I want to trade. If I find another one, I already mentioned the max I'd probably be willing to lose on this account would be like 600 to 650. So no matter what, the next trade, I would probably take a smaller position size simply because I would be trying to use an aggressive stop if I entered 6 MNQ trying to run a $200, $250 stop. So I would likely size down to 5, possibly 4 contracts. But I size off of conviction. If I had super high conviction in like that short entry I took, I would use 8 to 10 contracts. Appreciate you, Lasagna. What's your opinion on hyper scalpers? I don't even know what that is, brother. What do you mean hyper scalpers? Is that like a trading style? Big Bear Carlos. With a name like that, I don't expect you to be long. Holding trades sub 10 seconds. I think that's fucking insane. I could never do it. I mean, I don't. With that, my only question is, I would just question how well people do. Because if you're holding trades sub 10 seconds, there's a shitload of room for human error. Whereas if you're holding a trade for, let's say, 20, 30 minutes, you could miss a little bit of an execution and be fine. If you're talking sub 10 seconds, you have to be right almost every single time for it to get really nice continuation. Well, not continuation, probabilities. Plus, some prop firms will nuke your account if you're trading prop firms like that. Well, they won't nuke them, but none of them counts. What's your next support level for gold? This is going to be annoying if the short works and I was just stupidly too early. I really like 660s. And I'll show you exactly why. If you look at this, go off this low, around here, right there. You're hitting this prior high, this support, support, and now double resistance, triple resistance actually. So I like 660s a lot. See if we get there or not. "15-second rule on most prop firms. Tradeify has a 10-second rule. So if you are a hyper scalper, which I didn't even know people do, then you wouldn't want to use that firm. Drinks 15 Red Bulls and scalps. Dude, I got gray hairs in my first like 3 years of trading, swing trading, and trading like minis. I can't imagine trying to trade sub 10 seconds where you have to be dialed into every single chart and every single candle. Commissions would kill you. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to use minis no matter what. You'd have to use a few minis and just look for whatever type of criteria with points you do. It would drive me insane. Take another stab long here at 599. What was your target on your shorts earlier? What was your thought process to get that to that conclusion? My target earlier was around the 515s area. It was like 513.50, I think, where I ended up setting it. But it was trading off the higher time frames for the most part. We obviously didn't get the broader spike higher. I was looking to see if we can just continue rejecting this. Same reason I was looking at 660 on gold when I just mentioned it. Huge resistance for a while. Ended up being a support once we got back above. We ended up never really getting back into that. This was a really strong area for me. We came up and tested that. I was playing the possibility of us just rejecting off of that aggressively early, which was why I was willing to take a stab at it. The overall pullback was down into this support. So I'm trading this prior range in this current price action, which I think we can still get down there, especially now after this bigger rejection. But I was just early, which I knew. What up, Snipe? If I need to make 50 to 100 bucks, I throw up the 30-second chart and go ballistic. My hit rates are be like 85% average hold time of less than 2 minutes. Yeah, but Hamad, if you think about that too, you're pulling up the 30-second chart for like 2-minute long trades. A hyper scalping trade that he was talking about is less than 10% of the time that you're in your trades. And you think you're going ballistic. So take your average hold time, take less than 10% of it, and that's what he's referring to. Yeah. I could never do 10-second trades. Shit, I barely even know my exact entry area in 10 seconds of my entry. Ollie, I feel you gotta be using the tick chart for that. Tick chart or 1 second. Yeah, either works. But it takes me longer to figure out my exact fill price by the time 10 seconds is up. Drake, are you talking to me or just rhetorically? I can't click the button that fast. Brother, especially imagine taking a 10-second trade during Asia session. You'd have to be targeting 3 points on NQ. What up, Brian? Short on gold NQ, maybe going to hold a little more. Nice move so far. Gold's a lot cleaner with the big spike higher on the initial hourly open. I do like that if it gets continuation. Also, for that 660 area before as well, if we do push down there, that's the prior 4-hour high. So that is a huge make or break area if we get continuation. I'm a new trader, only 2 weeks. Nice. So are you still like kind of refining your strategy, understanding and learning everything? Are you on accounts yet, or are you just analyzing charts? You're already basically there, Carlos. Can you go to gold again? Your MGC looks way different. What you mean? You're a stockholder, like a long-term investor, or for your career? Got it, Brian. Noted. Your job's a chef? Hell yeah. Dude, the more I try to cook, the more respect I have for chefs. Especially if you work in a restaurant. Dude, sometimes I fuck up making one meal on timing. Like the protein will be done 5 minutes before everything else, or the protein will be done last and you gotta wait. I struggle with that time. I can't even imagine doing like 5+ meals at one time. Chefs are goated 100%, especially when dealing with high stress situations. Holding on to NQ because due to NVIDIA's results, the price might drop, allowing purchases with limits to re-enter the market. Don't hate it. Do you train any sport? No, brother, I'm 29. I'm not playing sports right now. I would love to, but near me, like if I got into a sports league or something, you're talking minimum 35-minute drive to get there. Minimum. Being in a kitchen all day is tough. Oh, brother, I can imagine. I used to work in a chemical plant, and I spent like 2.5, 3 months working above steam engines. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun whatsoever. Obviously, a completely different situation, but just talking about like the heat in general. And also, I work in my parents' like food trailers, which sucks ass. Ron loved ping pong. I wasn't bad at ping pong, but I wouldn't walk up to someone and be like, dude, I'd crush you in ping pong, because not that good. Well, thus far, we have pulled back a little bit. Better entry probably here, or the initial rejection up here if you wanted a more aggressive entry. This one around like 610s looks a lot better. Now we just got to wait and see if we're getting continuation or if it ends up holding. RTY looks really rough. YM's at a spot where it can either fail this 15 or push lower. I'm really interested to see how this 15 closes, because if it does rally back up above 590s, it looks a little bit stronger. We may just sit out in a range. I'm interested in trading more, whether it's this account or other accounts, really doesn't matter to me. What I don't want to see happen is this, where we just sit like this, because then I really don't have interest. Did we miss the GC long? Well, the GC long for me was back here. If you were in a GC long. Back here, obviously back here. I'm not overly interested here because the hourly hasn't even gotten close to closing yet. A lot of shit can happen in this candle. This isn't an hourly candle where I look at it and I'm like, I need to buy during this candle. I'd be more interested in buying post this candle. Similar thing with the indices, which is why I'm okay being a little bit patient. This candle here, we're now below the prior hourly low. Unless we get back above that 590s, which is right around the prior low on NQ, this candle looks weaker. If we get back above, yeah, we start to look stronger. I wouldn't be overly interested in buying during this. I'd be more interested in looking for a continuation on the next candle if I'm looking to the upside. If I'm looking to the downside, this candle would likely be the entry. You think we 500? Carlos, you talking about hitting 500? Yeah, Drake. Is it Drake or Draken? Either way, I agree. This 2 and 5 minute tell a big story. The primary thing for me is the 15. We still have obviously a candle and a half into the 15. If this 15 closes weaker, this isn't a strong chart that I'm overly eager to buy. ES now, though, has a bit of shorter term strength with this last 2 minute and us just retesting this low. NQ still slightly above that, which is okay. I'm still focusing on RTY and YM at the moment because they are holding well, which makes me not overly eager to be stabbing short. So I'm just being patient. Draken, bet. My stop is trailing. Your trailing stop got hit on gold. Nothing wrong with that. Means the trade worked out exactly what you wanted. Well, not maybe exactly what you wanted, but what you had planned for, which is okay. You can swipe down to 500. I mean, that was my generalized target if we continued short. I can tell you right now, NQ's not giving strong pressure. Watch how ES respects 730s as well as RTY YM around the open. I think there's a lot of like uncertainty on the lower time frames, which is why I'm not taking blind long stabs here off this ES support. Could it work? 100%. Something like this could easily work out, even if you just want to look towards highs. Not opposed to something like that. I just want this 15 to close before I do anything. So we have this 5 minute candle and then one more for the 15 close. Exactly what you're thinking about doing, the long on ES or waiting for the 15. Thus far, I think we're just range bound. That's it. We did end up getting that bit of a push high into 54s, but then we immediately slammed back lower. The main reason I'd rather be stopped during Asia if I was bullish is then you actually get the hourly inside bar. And this bigger rejection probably wouldn't have been as easy to happen. First, is it Jesus or Jesus? Just by your name. Hey, Rock, I don't hate it. I had similar thesis. I just got in too early. Moke, the bot's not working for some reason. As a creator, bet. Still feel weird calling you that, but it is what it is. What was your question? Can you explain a little about the gap? I can't, because that's part of the overall system. If you're in the Discord, ask it in the Discord, and 100% we can answer in there. It's just, it's not my strategy to freely talk about. If Jake wants to answer that question on live, sure. But because it's part of his course, his mastermind, his education, I'm not going to go in too much detail on it. But we do have a spot in the Discord for you to ask all those questions. You saying a loss on ES is better than a loss on gold? Well, I mean, a loss is a loss, no matter what way you look at it. It's all the same damn thing. One's just drastically more volatile than the other. Appreciate it, brother. Maybe a small bounce back to VWAP. Where's VWAP? Easily could. In the end, I think we're just stuck at the moment. For me, it's going to be, do we get below this like 54, 55, or yeah, like 54, 55 area? Or do we get back above 90s? On NQ, if that's the chart you're currently referring to, we are sitting in this. We get outside of that where we're currently ranging, right? This little 5-minute support, this little 5-minute resistance. We get outside of that, we'll likely see a bit of continuation, or at least an attempt at it. Oh, gold hit your trailing stop. What up, banker? We have a bit of a divergence going into this 15-minute close. Just looking at the structure, right? RTY is at a spot where it's either a lower high or a higher low, trying to figure out where it wants to close in the next 45 seconds. YM's currently trying to fail higher, while ES and NQ are both trying to fail lower. Typically, when I see that, leans a little more range bound, just because of the discrepancy. What's the 2 look like? 2's trying to buy into the 5-minute close. I just don't think there's high conviction. I think that initial push may have been it, which in all honesty, you guys know how I trade. Even if I longed where I shorted, my target wouldn't have been hit. So no joke, no matter what I took, if I took a trade early on, I would have made a stop. Because obviously you guys know the short I took. If I took a long where I got in right around 600s, let's say, stop is usually around 30, 35 points. Target would have been at least like 70s. And I would have been stopped right here or break even here. So any trade before Asia Open, I was destined to lose. Nice continuation there. 15s both tried to close strong, but we got the immediate rejection on the next candle. Really nice rejection of 80. What up, A-Trades? If we touch VWAP and go up, I'll long. If we touch VWAP and drop, I'll short. What about that? I don't trade VWAP personally. I have it here for when people ask questions about it so I can throw it on the chart and look at it. Same thing with volume. I don't use any indicators. I just use overall structure and price action for me personally. But if you like using VWAP, there's a lot of VWAP traders in the chat. So there's nothing wrong with waiting for a test of that. If we lose 730, next stop, 715, then 90, Straddle's at $52 now. Colin, the straddle for tomorrow is $52. Usually re-enter a trade, master, that depends on structure. Because re-entering trades, like let's say for me, if it's going to stop me out like this and rip past, probably not. Could I take the exact same thesis? Yes. If I was dying to get back in the trade, I could have taken this 2-minute lower high. 5-minute wasn't overly giving confirmation there yet, but we did wick the highs and then fail. So if I was overeager, like if I was dying to short and that was the only thing I wanted to do desperately, I would have had no problem taking another short around like 610s or around like 620s during this rejection. See you later, Ollie. But yeah, I don't have a problem re-entering trades if the conviction's there. Do you take NVIDIA options today? No, I don't trade earnings. Earnings are a gamble. You guys should know, especially if you've been on streams. I don't trade data. I don't trade earnings. I want nothing to do with it. Maybe Asia, not so bad. You top tick 651? Hell yeah. This can be day 2 in a row of me just watching the move work. And I'm not in a damn thing. You hope it dies down to like 29,000? Ryan, are you in right now looking for that? Yeah, master, 100%. I always want to. I will always do, between trades, do more analysis. Now, there's a spot where, let's say my stop was 54 on a short. Let's say I take something like this. I shorted wherever. My stop is like right here. And then we end up going for whatever target. If this is the situation and I get wicked out like this, if the confirmation's still there and this just can add a little bit more conviction to it, I would have no problem re-entering a short. But the number one question is my risk still in check and intolerance? Hey, Ryan, still a solid trade. You should be up. I mean, 2 micros is printing right now. Either way. You know if anyone's used levels on crypto like Bitcoin? Curious to know if that would work. Alex, I used to trade leverage crypto in the Discord in 2022, I believe it was, and I used the levels. It works on anything, if you think about it. If it works, like it's based off of charts. If it works on futures, it would work on other charts as well. You just might want to adjust a few things. Once this fills the gap, I'm happy. Yeah, if it fills the gap, it's going to suck ass. Because the thesis was right, just timing, horrible. Why are we trading futures? Long water. How the hell do you long water, Callan? Also, hang on a minute. There you go, Callan. Type again. Got yourself a new color. Now you can actually do shit. Are you trading full time? Yes. You are all banned. Callan, start dishing out 10-second timeouts. Do you know what reason we have the gap at the open today? Yeah. NVIDIA earnings, brother. NVIDIA is currently up 4.5% in the after hours. That's just the earnings rally. So as NVIDIA is rallying during the hour that futures are closed, right, between 5 right here and 6, wherever that is on this chart, futures is going to react to that. So as this gets continuation, that's where it ended up opening. But yeah, we had big tech earnings today. So NVIDIA's up a lot, and then CRM type names are up a shitload as well off of CRM earnings. Because CRM's up 12.5%. I see people talking about VWAP, but what has helped me a lot in London and New York sessions are bands 1 and 2. People are sleeping on them. I always turn those off whenever I have VWAP on. But obviously, I don't trade VWAP, so don't listen to me. How many accounts do you trade at a time? Do you trade 1 per day or something? It depends on what I've traded and my conviction on the charts. If I have super high conviction on a trade, I will have no problem copy trading accounts. Like on Tradeovate or on Tradeify, I have 3 accounts and I have 2 accounts on Lucid. Last night, when I took that long off of this, I ended up having an entry on all 5 that I liked. So I took all of those together. That was going to be if it either lost, that was my trade, or if it won, that was my trade. This ended up capping out all my accounts. So at that point, I didn't touch them until this session. But there's times if I have lower conviction, like today, I didn't trade all of my accounts together. I'll trade 1 at a time, or I'll copy trade like 2 together if I want to. The Lucid ones I've been copy trading together lately. Cal, in gold, a big area I'm currently watching is 660s. If you look at the 15, I talked about this a little earlier because someone else asked about it. This is what I look for a lot. So like this 15 minute, I want to watch how this reacts. I'm not saying it's like the guaranteed bottom, but I want to watch how it reacts. This was a big resistance back here in August 20th, 21st. Retested again here from the upside, again here. Get into the recent price action. This has been the big pivot. So I would love to see how 60s reacts and then see if we either get buying pressure off of that or if it breaks and we see continuation. But yeah, if you guys ended up shorting, target hit, just wasn't in it. Oh, those are just 15-minute pivots that I've been using on stream to trade. That's exactly what I just basically showed on gold. It's the broader support resistance areas I look for to trade for that session. And they shockingly work out crazy well. Do you think NQ fills the gap if we lose the open? Yes. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty annoying to not be in after getting stopped. Just got in too early. But the overall target of that like 510, 515 area did just hit. I want to watch how that to like 500 reacts, as that's the broader support that I had. If it holds, maybe for the short term. Right now, the 15 and hourly do look pretty damn ugly as we come into the second half of the hourly candle. Got in too early, story of my life. Yep. Gallon, I got stopped on this candle. But I did get in a little early. That's on me. That's what she said. I feel like that's the reason Callan said it like that. Do you believe in life after love? I don't know what that means, Liz. Holy gold dump. Gold be moving. Callan, you know what's even worse? Yesterday, because obviously I mentioned it in chat or in the Discord, I did well on analysis, but not trading. Talked about this entire short. Said I have zero interest in longing. I wouldn't be buying this whatsoever. And I watched the entire thing. But then I caught the long later. But I watched the entire thing as chat made money. And I sat on my hands. Gold going up. Gold just... What do you mean gold going up? Brother, I'm going to be honest. Gold does not look good. Not saying it can't go up, but the hourly looks pretty brutal thus far. Still has 20 minutes left. Stop, I'm in GC shorts. Master, are you telling me to take a long on NQ next time? What up, Joanna? Joanna, I think it is. Finally passed an eval after like 2 weeks of blowing accounts. Not even going to activate it tonight. Melty, don't. If you've been on a 2-week blender, give it time. Initially, when you first get it, maybe just trade a little bit smaller size and then just grow some confidence off of that. Right? Because that if you've been in a little bit of a blender and you finally passed one, obviously it depends on how you passed it as well. If you traded it more aggressively, the likelihood of you trading aggressive on the funded is going to be higher. But the goal is to make me cry because I put a trailing stop on it. Master, didn't you put a trailing stop on your long here? Because if you put a trailing stop on your long here, you should be happy you got stopped out because it's lower. Oh, you shorted it? You can just look back on it, see if there's a better spot you should have put your trail. Saying that's what she said to your own joke is crazy. But no, now at this point, just watching 500 on NQ. If we get continuation, I would expect something similar to yesterday, where we see that bigger push in to fill the overall gap on the indices. If ES gets around 710s, I'll be watching that aggressively to see how we react. Had the right thesis on the day, though, so happy about that. On the Lucid app, I was seeing the leaderboard. Some guy got 65 trades, 100% win rate, and 30K profit. Really? I'll have to look at that. 100% win rate on 65 trades is crazy, but what it likely leads to me thinking is it's more of a higher probability scalper. Yeah, I'd be curious on his average lot size and point amount per trade. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, crazy trading either way. It's funny because most of the time on those accounts, like there's a guy on Lucid. I don't know if you guys remember when they showed their leaderboard publicly. They started off showing like everyone doing well. And the guy with the biggest win, it was like what, 80,000 or something like that. And then they showed the guy with the biggest loss and it was like 65,000 and it was the exact same guy. So you already know one day he made like 80 something thousand. And the next day he lost 60 to 70 grand right after. The only thing I struggle with that holds me from being consistently profitable, I'm a bad loser. I take a loss, tilt. So I'm putting a daily loss on it for good. You should, Lil Melty, you should. Scalping 1-to-1 is capable of providing the consistency you're describing. It is, 100%. You can also scalp 1-to-2 and for like a 0.5 R if you have that probability. Young trades like that, actually lower R at times. All just depends on conviction, right? If you have a super high win rate, you can take negative R's and be fine. Yeah, NQ is just going to be an annoyance today for me. Mainly just because I got in too early. But looks like it is going for today's highs, which was second target around 440s, which we talked about. Nice move. Hopefully some of you guys are still holding. Not my entry, but whatever entry you took. Yeah, 1-to-1 or 1-to-0.5. Young, don't lie. There's some you take 1-to-10s. You've talked about it. Or no. 1-to-5s. Sometimes when I get funded at full port, 3-4 points, no stop loss. We've seen it. We've seen it plenty of times. Looking for long soon. Hit the daily wick. 1,760 drawdown to 2,700 in profit. Hell yeah. 1-to-25.7. What's going? Vantage, you catch 25.7? Because if so, hell yeah. Yeah, if I look for longs, it'll be a similar situation to yesterday, where I'm not going to blindly buy this test. Will we likely see somewhat of a rally off of it due to this aggressive selling? Likely, right? Currently down 200 points off the highs, which fucking hurts to see. But it'd be similar to yesterday, where I want to see the overall test, watch how we react, look for a little bit of structure to build off of it. Then I'd be interested in potentially longing. Thus far, though, coming into the hourly close, here's why I'm not the biggest fan of it. Ryan, I caught an L. That's what I caught. Here's why I'm not a biggest fan of the long is I would need aggressive buying pressure in the next 12 and a half minutes for me to be openly interested in taking a long on this chart because of how this hourly looks. This is a very aggressive hourly, very aggressive 4 hour at the moment. I would rather be patient, let it work out, do its thing, and then see if I have more conviction later on. What'd you catch, Ryan? Similar to yesterday, I was primarily interested in shorts. I just got in too early. I got in before the pop right before Asia Open, and I got stopped on that. A gap up and fail in the 4 hours, crazy work if it prints. Steve, it's actually, I mean, it's already happening. We already gapped and we failed thus far. What would be really crazy, though, is if this actually fails. If we close the 4 hour somewhat like this and get a 4 hour reversal, you have a lot of room. We could be down another 250 points to where we were looking for yesterday. We could get all the way down towards 29 100s if selling pressure is strong enough. I'm not going to blindly target that, but if selling pressure does continue to take over, that is 100% on the table. Why didn't you re-enter? I just didn't. Thank you. It did. Still hyped 1100 off 2 micros. Can't believe it. I don't even care to trade right now. Francis, don't. Don't at all. If you're happy with 1100, you shouldn't even be interested in trading those accounts tomorrow. You should be locking yourself out, calling it a day, and having a good day, good afternoon, whatever. I'm ready to short the world. I'm open to it, Steve. I'm in shorts right now. Pray for me. Fry boy, where'd you get in? See you later, John. Thought you had a no re-entry rule. No, so I don't have a no re-entry rule. You guys have watched me take the same trade multiple times before. It depends on structure. Let's say for me, a no re-entry rule would be like, all right, we look at this general support right here. I'm willing to take a long stab off of this on a pullback. If I got stopped out here, the no re-entry would be like immediately stabbing back into this. I don't have a problem re-entering. As long as my risk makes sense and I risk less enough on the trade to be able to take it again. Oh, no. I just didn't re-enter. Lucid got crypto evals now. Like leveraged crypto or just crypto? It's got to be leveraged, I would assume. If so, dude, they are about to double their income. Because if you talk about a trading class that is a little bit degenerate, it's going to be crypto. And that is probably the likelihood of situation where you're gonna get people to yeet accounts. Heard you say evals. Wait, Young, what are you talking about? Also, did Lucid actually drop crypto stuff? Because I haven't seen anything about that. Crypto payouts? I think they've already had that. Most prop firms have that. You say evals. Yeah, Young, you just made half of the chat think Lucid just dropped crypto evals. Do you think NQ will go back up? Only time will tell, brother. Am I going to blindly buy this? No, not at all. This is selling pressure. I'm not overly interested in buying. I'm okay buying pullbacks like this. I'm not okay blindly buying supports in this, right? We just sold off 200 points. Can we get buying pressure to shoot back up immediately super fast into 500, 510s? Of course, easily. That'd be less than half of this downside move. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait till we get confirmation if I do look to long later on. We're at a point, though, where we need to hold this. If we don't hold this, shit is going to hit the fan aggressively throughout the overnight, for sure. DGen. A trades in reality, the past 2 days, I should have just been straight DGen. Called out both broader moves perfectly. Yesterday just didn't enter. Today just entered too early. Unfortunate. But that's what? 200 something points? Yeah, no. 160-ish points from my initial entry. Not a bad little move. We didn't technically fill the gap yet. We still need, so what, 37.75, 4 points, 5 points. First target hit 715. Let's see if we go 690s. So you're targeting past the gap fill down towards 690s. If anyone was watching gold, we did just hit that area that we were watching for shorts. Gold came down and just smoked that support. However, it did come down, hold it, which is nice. Shows the support still held, and then we immediately slammed through it. So hopefully those of you in shorts are still holding, or still doing well on that. Com, are you looking at like Gamma, or are you talking about Bookmap for a big order? Looking for a gap fill on ES. If NQ loses its gap, it'll likely fill. ES will likely trail down there. Problem here, though, is you need NQ to lose this pretty aggressively. Looking at this, you'd probably need NQ down around 420s, maybe 410s for ES to get down there. Maybe actually lower. It could break 400s by the time ES gets down there. But I will say, this is also why I'm not willing to blindly buy this. This is what the current hourly chart looks like. If this is a 5 minute, I have absolutely zero interest in buying right here. And this closes in 4.5 minutes. If we get a crazy 5 minute candle above 500, maybe I'll look into it in the next hour. At the moment, though, it's just weak. I am happy as hell about the analysis the last 2 days. But I got to figure my shit out with execution off these 2 days. You think NQ will hold this range and bounce up? Only time will tell, brother. I look at areas of where it should hold if it's going to. 440s to 430s is that area. If bulls are going to defend something, it's likely going to be this general area. If we lose it, it's not going to be good at all. My timing has been too eager. My timing was just too eager today. Yesterday was not eager enough. So I'm battling the two opposites. Good part is I know off the analysis or just general market structure, some of you guys printed. Yeah, the more I look at the chart, the main reason I'm a little irritated is I just didn't wait for us to take out the highs first. I was anticipating the lower high before it actually fully set up and swept the high a day. which based off the hourly should have been the number one feature to wait for. But it's nice at least being able to look back and know exactly what I should have done differently. Because we had the relative weakness on RTY and YM that we liked. That gave conviction for the possible of a short if they didn't get strong buying pressure. They were never able to continue to hold. And then that just ended up leading to it. Plus, part of the reason that I was actively open to shorting, right? If the whole market was rallying, I would have been hands-off shorts no matter what. Apple's actually gapping lower. Apple's down almost 1%. It was down almost 1% since we started stream. This name has been weaker. Doesn't matter how much NVIDIA is gapping up. If Apple and other big tech names are also pulling back, it just gives more of a divergence between them. So we have Microsoft down 0.7%, Apple down 0.8%. It's not going to have that huge of an impact if NVIDIA is actually gapping up, if those are pulling back. Thank you, Hold. You be interested in buying later, not at the moment. I would like structure to build, and I'll continue to say that. I would like to see some type of conviction, most likely like a higher low. A great example is quite literally my trade yesterday. You hit the low, consolidate a little bit, whether you're watching the 2, the 5, whatever it may be, watch for the overall structure. Once you end up building, and this entry was actually over here, but once you end up building overall conviction, get somewhat of a higher low on the 2, 5, 15, then you look to take it. I don't like blindly buying supports. I don't. Because there's been too many times in the past when I used to not be more consistent, where I would blindly buy a support, and then you'd buy this support and then it'd pull back. You'd buy this support, then it'd pull back. You'd buy this support and then it would pull back. So I just avoid doing it. Because that has a probability of taking me back into old habits, and I just don't want that. Been tough going through weeks of range and chop. Even the trends were choppy, and you finally get clean PA, and it looks weird. Yeah, Steve, I wouldn't even say it looks weird, because I feel like yesterday was clean as hell for the short. Today, probably not as clean, but I feel like broader structure made sense for it. I was just a little off on my timing. That's textbook structure with those retraces. It is, for sure. Especially when you look at where we held and where we tested. Even just off me marking 15-minute supports too. ES came down, hit it perfectly, held. NQ came down, hit it perfectly, held. For at least the short term. You look at gold as well, based off of the area I talked about. And mind you, these pivots are just on the 15. You guys watch me draw them on chart or on screen. This one came down, tested it, rallied a little bit, broke below, retested it from below, and now seeing if it can get over it or not. That's why I marked these out. It's already 9 o'clock. Damn. Am I crazy for thinking that Asia session, it's been better than New York? No, not at all. For a few weeks, yes. If you came in on my streams when we were, I'll go to ES because it looks worse. When we were doing this for the first few hours, I would have told you you're delusional. I would have told you you're straight up delusional. It's way cleaner right now. Way drastically cleaner. Especially the last 2 days. The last 2 days are the cleanest price action we have gotten in probably the last 3.5 weeks. Because we spent 3 weeks of ES in a 8-point range other than, I think, 2 trading days or 3 trading days. Remember, we talked about at one point, Asia session will be great again. I may not have been doing phenomenal just on entering, but Asia session's been fucking great these last 2 days. Whether it's during this time slot or later on, even yesterday. A lot of probability. I'll go to NQ because I know that's what everyone loves to trade. The overall volatility is what I love. And as you get it, that's what provides opportunity. Intraday has been asked, though. If you look, it's mainly just been either one quick move off the open and reversal followed by consolidation, or just straight consolidation. Actually, every day. When's the last time it didn't do that? Thursday. So every day since Friday, we've made one sharp move off New York Open, immediately reversed the entire thing, then consolidated. Sharp move, reverse, consolidate. Sharp move, reverse, consolidate. Every single day. Damn. We got a pattern. But yeah, if someone told me they were taking a long off this or off the 430s, I wouldn't have any issues with it. I'm just not interested at the moment. Primarily just because I don't want to take a stab yet. How do you stop being addicted to trading? Fryboy, I got news. That's one sentence. It's both good and bad. You never stop getting addicted to trading. At least for me. I love trading. I love looking at charts. I love just doing the analysis. I love the fact that you can always get better. And I think that's just genuinely what drives me in it. Get a job. Well, no, the goal is to not get a job. That's the goal. Or not have to have a job. Even when I had a job, dude, for real, I work full time. So did I. When I first started trading, I worked for a company that my mom was a part of. I was the opposite of you, Charlie. At one point, I knew I had a problem when my mom walked in my office, and I couldn't even have her confirm it. She walked in and goes, "You've been a shit employee lately." I'm like, damn, appreciate that one. Thanks. Right to the heart. But she wasn't wrong, because I would get to work and I would trade. I would do enough sales work to where it would look like I was working, but I would do just enough so that way I could spend the rest of my day staring at charts. Passed my first eval today, 3 weeks trading. Hell yeah, Nick. Congrats, brother. Trading bleeds into the rest of life. It does in reality, because as you get better at trading, you're going to get better at understanding yourself as a person. Yeah, Fryboy, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's actually a lot of people in here that just use price action. But also people use Gamma, people use VWAP, EMAs, Fibs if they want to, ICT, volume, VPVR. Whatever works for you in the end, use it. In reality, all of it is derived from some type of price action that gives you more conviction to enter. But I will die on the hill that no matter what, if you're trading, you should at least understand basic fundamental price action. At that point, then just put whatever conviction you want on the chart. Oh, this long plays off the 430 range. Did you get in, Arceus? NQ looks good, for sure. Especially with the quick spike lower. If it holds, looks good. Also, if you got in, where are you targeting? I don't have enough conviction. I think it's good for a higher risk, higher reward type trade if you want it. It's just after this kind of sell, I think we can easily get a rally. I would just be looking for a broader move versus a shorter term trade, and I don't think I want that yet. I don't think I'm ready for it yet. Just risked my whole account to make $62. Jake, what do you mean? Like, were you in huge drawdown? You ended up making it back and then closed for $62? Did we fill the gap? Yes. The gap would be this gray line. Yes, sir. Then out of the kindest way possible, get out. Like, out of charts, out of streams. Maybe open a window, stick your head out it, get some fresh air a little bit, splash some water in your face. I wouldn't be trading right now after that. I've been there. I've done that. I've also done it to the point where I've gotten borderline almost blowing my entire account watched my trade go break even, and then it went right back down to blow my account. So that's why I'm saying get out, because it doesn't end well. Luckily, you closed green at least, and you realized what you did before you overtraded afterwards. So have a good one, brother. But yeah, definitely when that happens, it ain't worth continuing the trade. Yes, on mine I did, for sure, 100%. To the point where you would take unnecessary mistakes trying to win. Yes. Yep. And then I realized I didn't necessarily need the desire. Because when I first went full time, my costs were very low. Like, very low. My main costs were, let's see, rent was around $800 when I went full time. I had a $400 car payment, which wasn't crazy. And then just average bills at that point, including, I think, like phone as well. Yeah, because I had already gotten a phone. So maybe like $2,000 is what it cost me a month to live at that point in time. In the beginning, though, I had enough saved up. I had enough commission stuff coming to where I could fully trade and be comfortable. But I quickly let myself get in the mindset of I need to make money immediately versus where I thought I would have to make like $500 to $1,000 a day every single day, no matter what, to be able to be profitable and sustainable. Then I quickly realized, hey, dumbass, you quite literally only need like $300 a day on average to be okay. And obviously, that's accounting and taxes and shit. But it took me a little bit to come to fruition with that. Because also to go full time, I had a 2-week heads up. Surviving the learning curve is a real business. Surviving going full time when you're not fully ready to is also. V-shaped recovery incoming. I would like it a lot more if ES filled the gap, to be honest. I don't think it has to, but I would like it to. 300 a day is 100K a year. Never thought about it like that. Fryboy, correct, but not correct. There's 252 trading days a year. I believe there's still 252. They may have added a holiday or two in there. So 400 days, 100K a year. 300 days, 75. Either way, 75K for most people that are currently trading replaces their salary. At least for the average person. Obviously, if you're a higher earner, you need to make more. That's just obvious. But yeah, it's always good to look at it on a broader scale. That's why if I have a really big day where when I made like $8,000 on a video, I will go usually less aggressive after that, because in reality, just made a few months of pay that I really don't need to worry about at that point. Gap can get filled weeks after, or it has to be today or tomorrow. Draken, that's actually something that I talk about quite frequently when people mention gaps. So it's kind of funny I'm talking about gaps. Doesn't have to get filled today or tomorrow. And here's exact proof, right? Right here. Big gap still hasn't been filled. You go back even farther. I forget where that one is. Gap down here on ES at 6,000. Still hasn't been filled. Another one right here at 5,600. Not filled. You can go all the way back to like way a long time ago during like COVID or whatever prior sell-offs there were, and you will find gaps. So gaps don't have to be filled, but a majority of the time, a larger percentage of gaps do get filled. It's just not like it has to be filled right here, right now. There's no set time frame on it. Just bang 3,000. Hell yeah, brother. Show the gap from 1971. Like the year or the price action? I don't think I can go back that far, my guy. Sorry, it only goes to 97. The year. No, I can't go back that far. It's not possible. All right, here's a good example. If you're someone who says all gaps need to be filled, that means ES should be at one point at $1,774. That would be a hell of a pullback. I'll give you that one. Would be a hell of a pullback, but that gap has never been filled. So I'm seeing the market dropping before hitting all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, I could see that for sure. Mainly because the market's not anywhere. Today, as in like today, tomorrow's price action, hope we don't fill that gap. 1 HP, if we fill that gap, we have a lot more things to worry about than that gap filling. If the S&P 500 sells off, 85%, 80%, we have a lot larger probabilities that we need to focus on and issues. Because the market tomorrow plays a big factor for me. How does this daily candle close? If we end up pushing and closing below today's highs, yesterday's highs, today, whatever you want to count it, this is a big possible daily lower high. Look at RTY. RTY, if it pushes to the low of this range, looks horrible. ES would be a daily lower high. NQ would be a daily lower high. There's a chance we're at a point where we can easily form a downtrend here. Weekly would be a consolidation bar. Sets up a really nice weekly 3-bar play. We talked about that situation yesterday. So that's why there's a lot of things I'm interested in seeing. But that's also part of the reason why I'm more patient this week than I normally am. Because there's a lot of, it could do this or this to either direction. Fry, don't worry about asking any questions. I will get to that. Just let me get through the chat. Aiming to get a little payout from my 2 TPTs. I want to pick up those 10-4 daily accounts. The 1K daily payout cap will keep me in check. TPT has been aiming for 3-4K first day. Do they have a 1K daily payout cap? Interesting. Do you just wait, Green Alien? You just banked 3,000 profit on gold's 1 second chart in the most respectful way. What the hell is wrong with you? I can only go to the 1 minute chart. Who trades the 1 second on gold during Asia? That is probably one of the most diabolical things I've ever heard. Congratulations on the profit, but holy hell. Nice recovery though on gold. Really nice recovery. He's lying? Gotta be lying, dude. There ain't no... If you were trading 1 second on Asia, you got some balls. My guy. I need you smoking 3 cigarettes while I'm on the 1 second. You and me both. Now, I believe you. I just think it's diabolical. It's impressive, to say the least. I wouldn't do it. But I also only trade lowest time frame. My trade's 2 minute. I can't do the 1 minute. It's too slow. Is that like... Fry boy, I'll get to it. I got distracted. Is that on any trading time? Or is that just during Asia? Zin vape with a patch while sipping coffee. 1 HP. I would also be on a shitload of nootropics as well. Get the mentals locked in. At that point, you might as well take psychedelics too. I mean, holy hell. Why do some people not like when their account goes live for props? Sorry, I'm in my first prop right now. The reason it was in the past is a lot of prop firms would let you trade 5+ accounts, and then they would take you live to one account. What they've done since then, chat needs to chill out. What they've done since then is some prop firms have made it so you can trade 5 accounts. But one of the biggest reasons that most traders don't want to get there, if we're being honest, and if they do content, this is just my 2 cents from an outside perspective. You can't reset a live account. I could blow every funded account I have. Re-up tomorrow, trade aggressive size, act like I still have the same fundeds. Can't do that with a lot. But it's just for looks as well. That's why I'm not saying everybody is for that reason, but there's definitely people out there that have that reason. But for me, I would love to be live. I would have no issues with it whatsoever. I would definitely trade less size on a live just so I could keep it longer and grow it. Well, less size on lower conviction trades. Like on that trade, I probably would have been on like 4 MNQ. Why do you only trade the 2-minute? Nick, to be honest, most of my trades are on the 5-minute. 5:15, hourly, 4 hour. Of course, Fryboy. But it's just personal preference. A lot of prop firms, because you're newer, so I wanted to answer that in depth, is just the fact that when you go live with prop firms like Lucid and Tradeify, I don't know the other prop firms' rules, so I can't answer those ones. They have reward systems where if you do well, you can make an extra 4 to 5 figures on your accounts that they just give you for trading well. There's so much upside to going live on top of daily payouts that it makes no sense to not want to do that. Other than the option that you're just trying to continue to play the risk to reward game in yeet accounts, you know? If bro trades the 1 second, you watch YouTube videos on 3x speed or what? Hey, Rock. Green, he's asking you that question, by the way. Obviously, it's a joke, but. Yeah, on the 2-minute for me, it's where I get my conviction. I want conviction on higher time frames. I want conviction off the 4 hour, the hourly. Even today, using the time frames I used is why I wanted the short that I took. Like I said, though, now looking back at the hourly, I rushed it for sure. Obviously, the chart shows that. But I got in too early on that one. Could have done it on ES. Probably would have been fine. But I traded NQ. NQ did sweep the high. So just a learning lesson. But I like the conviction on the 4 hour and the hourly because it gives me the most conviction possible. And it just gives me a higher probability. The reason I don't trade under the 2-minute, and I actually don't trade the 2-minute that often, to be honest. Even when I'm taking that 2-minute entry, I'm looking at the 15 on my other monitor for overall conviction. Pat, I'm biased on that because I only trade Lucid and Tradeify. So that's going to be a straight up biased answer. You can ask chat if they trade Top Step and Lucid, which one they like more. I just can't actively answer that because I don't pay attention to Top Step a lot. Bro watches the end of stream recap to chat now. Well, what if you only put $80 in your live account? 1 HP. Well, first, they're talking about the live account with prop firms, not like self-funded live account. And I have a good feeling, at least my chat would be able to notice if I put $80 in a live account and tried to trade it. Because I would be actively trading 1 micro with a $30 stop loss. And I have faith that you guys would ask some serious questions if I did that. Like someone in chat would at least be like, dude, why are you only risking $30? Like, what are you doing? You did these select flex. I like that account. Yeah, Nick, Tradeify. Oh, wait, what was the initial question? I only trade 2 minutes. I don't know if that was answering someone else or me. When you trade the 5-minute, do you miss opportunities to enter trades? You don't miss opportunities to enter trades based off the chart. You miss opportunities to enter trades based off hesitation. The chart will always give you the same conviction to enter a trade if you're watching different time frames. Like yesterday. I should have been in the trade I took. I mentioned on stream. It was just, I didn't get in. I hesitated the entry, didn't get in the short where I wanted to around 72s, 73s. Missed the trade. At that point, I just let it go. because I could either chase or I could just let it do its thing and find another trade. Instead of chasing this, I patiently waited for, I think, 3 hours, almost 4 hours. Yeah, like 3 hours until I finally found a trade that I wanted to take. Same thing's going to be today. I did rush this one. To be honest, though, if I was paying attention to the 2-minute, gave you more possibilities to enter on the 2-minute if you were looking for a bigger rejection. If I actually focused more on, let's say, the 30 and the hourly today, there's a higher probability I'd be more patient. But I was a little focused on the lower time frames and trying to catch the move if it happened, not trying to catch the move when it happened. I got the bottom orb yesterday around 2-ish, I believe. Well, it depends what. Are you talking about New York? Are you talking about during New York session or the overnight? Yeah, see, I caught the overnight. This is from roughly 10 p.m. last night. I didn't trade New York today because I did well last night. I capped out all of my accounts. But my primary trading session is from 7 p.m. till like 1, 2 in the morning. You think we're stuck in a consolidation now? We're trying to figure out what I talked about earlier, right? Is this area actually going to hold? Are we going to start setting higher lows, giving that conviction for a possible pushback higher? If we do, it's the likelihood. I've been less interested in entering, mainly just because I haven't been paying too much attention to the chart. Probably could have entered, but at this point, we're fighting the open. Watch how we react to the open over the next few minutes, whatever it may be. Because I'm probably hopping off soon. And then see if conviction builds. Build a trade plan that you want to set. This gets a strong 15-minute close over the open. We could look right back towards 610, 600s without any hesitation. But how we react to like 500 to 515 is going to be very important to me. Any particular reason you don't use Top Step? Pat, I used to use it. My first ever payout was Top Step, and the most payouts, the largest payout I've had with a firm in one given payout was Top Step, because I think that was like $12,000. I quit using them when they rug pulled Trade of 8 off their firm, just because that was the only broker I used. I didn't want to learn a new broker. They quit using Trade of 8, and then they pulled their broker off every other firm at the same time. Back then, I didn't agree with the decision. I get it from a business perspective. I just didn't like the decision because obviously I use Trade of 8, so I just quit using them. I have no qualms with them. They're going to pay out. They're the longest standing prop firm in the industry that I know of. Nothing wrong with that at all. What I would do is look at the rules, see if you like them. If you like the rules, use them. 100%. We don't have an affiliation with them, but I will still tell you to use them if you like them because that's just how I am. If you do end up using Lucid, Tradeify, or any of the other firms we're affiliated with, code RAKE will give you the biggest discount available. I'm off this. Just hit lockout. Was getting an initial long. Have a good night. See you later, Vantis. I'm long from 460. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I really don't hate that on the lower time frames. Did you get in on this initial break around 2102? Or did you get in somewhere around here during this consolidation? Do you only stream on this channel? Yes. Fryboy, wait, let me check. Are you new here? No, you're not new. Okay. Yeah, this is the only channel I stream on. I only stream during this time slot. Technically, my time is over. But if chat's active and I'm just hanging out, I just mainly focus on questions, answer some questions, stay a little longer. I'll stream anywhere from like 9 p.m. ending till like 11. I think it's the latest I've done, 11:30. I knowingly have the best success with Top Step by a large margin too. Keep trading them. Why is that annoying, my guy? They pay out. If they pay out and you do well with them, keep ripping it. Consolidation, nice. Nice entry. We can understand bro having a bad day resetting to $30 stops. 8 trades. First off, are you behind on stream or are you just answering to an old thing? I don't, even if I was resetting, like if I just had a shit week and I told you guys I need a mental reset on trading, I'm sizing down, I couldn't do 1 micro. I would probably be trading ES, likely in the 4 micro range, maybe. Because even if you have a 5-point stop, that'd be $100. If you see me trading 1 micro live on stream, that is just doing it because I feel like it. I just don't see a situation where I'm risking $30. It's just too low to even like feel it, because you still have to have some risk on, to where if you make a win, it's like, all right, that's a solid return, but it's nothing that you're going to freak out about, you know? Like if I take a loss, I still want to look at the loss and be like, okay, I lost that amount and I respect it. If I lose $30, I probably won't care about that trade whatsoever. Game on, we give you shit. Please do. If I'm risking $30 prior to trailing a stop loss, give me all the shit you want. Shit, some of you guys give me shit the second I enter a trade. I mean, Praga got yeeted today because he did that to Jake again. He was, I think mine was the main channel he watched. I can show you why in the Discord because of Mitch's system. Yeah, go ahead. You can send me a DM. Fortunately, I missed all of the short. You and me both, brother. Just because everyone hates them. Hamad, people don't, I wouldn't say everybody hates them. The reason a lot of people, like Jake has a reason that he had beef with them, right? He was live with them, did all that stuff, whatever. The reason a lot of people don't talk about them is because they don't use affiliates as much. It's just the honest fact. They don't. So a lot of people are going to talk about them less. I don't hate them. I dislike them for a little bit because they rugged the I didn't like the way that they let everybody and every other prop firm trial and beta test their new broker and then immediately rug pull that broker off the other firms. I just didn't like that. So I just didn't trade with them. Now I don't care about it. This is what it is. It's in the past. If I want to try their accounts, I'll trade them. Yeah, it was crazy. It's just, I'm the same way with every firm. There's other firms that I'm just not going to mention that I will not trade with because of stuff they did in the way they did certain things. If I have a bad feeling about something or just dislike the way something's done, I just won't do it or I won't use it. There's so many firms out there. Just trade who you want to trade with. Bro, I had a trade in H around 320, got liquidated at 145 PST and was looking for that pump to 556 on NQ. Chris, I see your message. Are you talking about last night, brother? Do you set alerts? If so, what are some of the biggest triggers for you to do so? Yeah, Ren, I'll set alerts at all of those. Most of the time, though, if I'm actively watching, then I will have no problem just watching the trade. Like if I'm doing anything after stream near my computer, I'll just move this chart over here, just watch it in the corner of my eye with whatever I'm doing, and then trade if we get near an area. Like if I'm interested in a continuation of this retest of the open, might not be a bad entry to look for a continuation up towards, let's say, 565s. Then if we get over that, look towards 600, 610s. You're still on for now, Ryan. I was going to hop off, but then people started asking questions. Chat knows if they ask too many questions, they give me to stay later. Add a bit of risk to feel something? Yeah, Danny, it can't be like nothing. It's got to be a little bit of risk. If we break 521, do you think we rally to 555? 565 would be my area. Targeting this prior low, 560, 565. Because it also lines up, 555 to 565. So these lows to like this low. Just in this general area, right in the middle of this bigger range. Don't hate that. Name the worst one for our sake. I can tell you we're not affiliated with them. I'm glad about that. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not starting beef. If it was like my YouTube channel, maybe. But I'm not starting beef on Jake's YouTube channel with a prop firm just because I don't like it. But no, I've talked about it before for sure. So if you were here in the past and you've heard me mention it, because there's one firm that I don't like at all because of shit that they did. Not to me, just in general, in the way it was done. I just won't use it. I'm okay with that. They still pay people out. They have solid rules. Today during the video earnings. Oh, wait. Wait, 320 got liquidated. PST. So 445. Oh, so you traded through the earnings. Okay, I bet. Do you guys read any books to get better? I mainly just practice because I can't read. Fryboy, they make these wonderful things that I like to use called audiobooks. Perfect for you. Perfect for you. Why do you guys share one YouTube channel? Because we're a team. It wouldn't make sense if we were trying to grow. What would make more sense for like the broader scale, right? If we're all working together under one team, or if we all split apart trying to do the exact same thing, growing 5 different channels. Because if I do mine, I would be streaming 7 to 9 p.m. and that is it. Who the hell is going to continue to tune into that? Obviously, you guys will, but then it's stagnant 21 hours. Plus, we're all under Jake. I actually, to know how like locked in we are to this, I canceled all of my prop firm affiliate codes to ride with this and ride with streaming. Do you set OCO brackets like Alan? Yes, Ren, I do. Earlier when I was in my trade, the reason I was silent for like 3 minutes is because I was working on setting the OCO. It just wasn't setting right. Every time I enter a trade, you'll see me look over here. Whenever I look to the right, I'm executing on a trade. Well, not always. When I look right and up, most of the time I am. But I was setting an OCO. Alpha or Apex? I would not use Alpha. It's neither. I was affiliated with Apex. Apex is fine. Alpha I would never use after what happened. I personally would never use them. Yeah, Joanna, we're just a big team. I want to not like this firm that you speak of. I would say shoot me a DM, but then I'm going to get 20 DMs asking about the firm. How about My Fund of Futures? Nothing wrong with them. I just never use them. Guys, I don't know if you guys, I know what you're doing. And I will say, I'll give one hint. You haven't listed it yet. But you guys are all asking about different prop firms and what I think about them to try to get me to answer the question that I said I don't want to answer. And you're being smart, and I'm not falling for it. I see others do the same. Yeah, because they're all a community. Like if you look at Big Daddy Max, he's the main guy. Jake's the main guy of this. And then they bring on other people to stream underneath them across different hours. Jake's goal is to try to get this as close to 24 hours a day as possible. And we've got a decent chunk of it. We got like 10, 11 hours. An extra hour with me streaming right now. Fund of Futures family. I've never used them. I don't know enough about them. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. I've just never used them. Don't know enough about them. Hoping to get a decent hourly close in the next hourly candle to break above the previous. If we break above, yeah, if we get a strong hourly close here, at this point, because the hourly is going to be, unless we get an aggressive rally, it's going to be more of a neutral-ish. That's when I put more focus on the 30-minute. So if we get a smaller 30-minute candle, the next candle ends up being more of like that 3-bar play. That's where you can really get some good continuation. 30 and 15. I don't know why I went to the 156. But we're also going to be coming into that 4-hour. As long as the 4-hour holds this gap and gets buying pressure, it looks solid. It does. Do you have other time slots you're looking to fill? I'm sure we do. I don't think we're actively looking to fill it yet. We just brought on the one guy we want to bring on with Mr. Callan. He was on stream earlier. Jake's been trying to get him since we started this, by the way. Jake has wanted Callan in this endeavor since day 0, day -30, when we started actively planning all this. Once I discovered futures trading and New York Asia sessions, it has been so hard to fit the gym with my 9 to 5. Danny, you got to make sacrifices, right? You got to find that time just for mental sanity alone. But no, even like a 30-minute workout will help if you find it on those days. But no, FFF, I just don't know enough about them. Haven't used them personally. I don't plan on using them. My Fund of Futures, I've used once. They cut Jake off as an affiliate. That's all I really know. I've traded 1 or 2 accounts with them like 3 years, 2.5, 3 years ago. Haven't touched them since. Don't plan to. If you go to the gym, it boosts your brain, which will boost your trade. But you can just take a bunch. All you got to do is double dose creatine, take some nootropics, and an extra bit of caffeine. That'll boost your brain too. So it's not those two. No. Nope. Like I said, I know you guys are going to keep guessing if we talk about it. Just passed my first eval. Thanks to the knowledge you and Alan share on stream each day. Appreciate you, Pete. Pete, also, congratulations. There's been 3 people just stream alone. Even though I know there's been a solid entry, I completely locked out of trading just to talk. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm cool with that. I'll look for some type of entry later on in the night if I want to trade, or tomorrow. I'm not worried about it. I haven't had overly interest in it just because I've been focusing on just yapping with you guys, and I'm cool with that. But no, that's awesome. There's been 3 of you guys that have now said you passed your first eval today, which is phenomenal. Make sure you let Alan know that too, because I know he'll be happy. It's good to catch up on a Rake Trades Network session. It is. I love just shooting the shit with you guys. That's the funny thing. People would think if I stay on for 4 hours, it's like a shitload of trading no matter what. But most of the time, it's 2 trades max and then 2 hours of just yapping. Ross took some Nvidia calls today for 230. What's it sitting at? Banny, what's the expiration? Rain, what the fuck? $221 in for Friday. Didn't you say you took 230s? Oh, you took 221s and 230s. When you have just ES and NQ side by side, is it usually just on the 5-minute? Yeah, Ren. I'm showing this to you guys on the 5-minute because what I used to stream, I did a poll. And I found out what you guys hated. You guys don't like me showing this chart the entire stream, and I understand. Probably looks terrible. Probably very small charts. But this current chart on the 15-minute is on my monitor over here to the right, and I watch that all the time. I watch that whenever I'm trading. That is locked on the 15-minute. Most of the time when I'm actively in a position, I'm either looking at this chart on the 5 or the 2, or I'm looking at this chart where it shows me my multi-time frame analysis. Those are the 2 ways I trade futures. Yeah, Danny, if you're only in 230s, you need a hope and a prayer for continuation. Did options calls for PLTR and CRWV. Danny, here's where you fumbled today though. You did Nvidia. What you should have done is stayed with the CRWs. You should have done CRWD. That thing went up 12%. That's the one you want to catch options on. Mainly because Nvidia too. That would have been what, 10%? Which isn't insane for earnings? Yeah, 10%. But it's likely priced in for the most part. Because most of big tech, which you didn't trade big tech. Did they have earnings? Yeah, CRWD had earnings today. Which is why that whole sector's ripping. CRWD, CRM. There's a few other names as well. I forget them though. Do you use wealth charts? I like how easy it is. How it's easy as fuck for copy trading. Nick, I use Tradeovate and I use TradeC. Those are the only two brokers I use right now. Now that is another one. Yep. There was another one. It's the second letter is an H and then a U, but I don't remember it. Because last time I traded CRWD, that had earnings and I didn't know about it. Or I traded CRM. That had earnings I didn't know about and it gapped down like 20-something%. In the CRM space, yes. What up, Zay? It's something. There's a U in the third. I just forget what it is. Hang on. HubSpot. That's what it is. It was the day I took a long in this sector was this day. And I still have the drawing on it for me saying, what the hell? Yeah, I gapped down like 20-something% and nuked my contracts. You may or may not work for one of them. Hell yeah. Well, if you work for HubSpot, we have beef for that day. That day only, but that day we have some beef. Thanks for the info, of course. Not HubSpot. Well, if you're in one of the bigger ones, I could take a few guesses because they're all listed right here. But I need to dox you. Nibs Marvel. Zay, did you mean to say Nibs? Dude, Marvel's going crazy. Zay, didn't you get in this around like 180s, 190s? Somewhere around there? Nibs. What? Oh. Sorry, I just can't read. Solid gap. Zay, you find the weirdest names. And the charts always look the same for the most part. They always look somewhat the same. Chad, remember though, one thing I wanted to... Oh, wait. Clocking out, fellas. Got a blue collar shift in the AM. Have fun, brother. Have a good night. But this is what we wanted to watch. This generalized area, see how we react. At this point, I'm just going to wait for the 4-hour close, watch how we react off of it. 30 minutes at a point where I can set a lower high or a higher low. If we do push lower in the next 15 minutes, close anywhere below the opens, to be honest, there's a possibility ES does go for that gap fill. I'm not overly interested. I don't have nearly as much conviction as I had on the initial short. But I don't hate smaller conviction type of hit and run style trades. Look really bullish in the next week's PLTR. All right, I'm finishing up what's in the chat, and then I'm hopping. Because if not, I'm going to stay here for another hour and just yap with you guys. PLTR looks phenomenal. Yeah, but PLTR might be too big of a market cap for Zay. Zay likes to yeet the lower names. And they do well. You talk about HIMS, though. If HIMS starts breaking out, Zay's throwing money at it. For sure. Nice daily consolidation. Yeah, I like PLTR a lot. It's really strong. I like the chart. If it gets continuation. But chat, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Solid stream. Been about 3 hours, just under. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I'll be back on tomorrow for my Friday. And then Alan is on 1 a.m. Eastern like usual. Y'all already know that. Already besides the data, you actually help me be more patient. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother. It means a lot hearing that. Team needs hymns at 120. Jesus Christ, eh? But appreciate you guys being here, especially this long, especially those of you that are here from the beginning. Appreciate the support. Unfortunately, just poor execution. Got in too early. Is what it is. Lived with it at that point. Didn't chase the entry again. Probably should have. Oh, well. I'll look back on it again, do some more analysis, see where and how I could have done a little bit better. We'll be back at it tomorrow. You have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.